Hey guys, I just figured I'd do a update on the boat since it's been a couple weeks. I'm still finding low spots and sanding. Boat's dirty again, filthy actually, but getting closer and closer. I know it doesn't look like much, but she's actually getting pretty flat and should be priming today or this week. At a few spots that I gotta put some fairing compound in, and I opened up another blister right here. You can still see it's still kind of delaminated, so I'll cut it back some more. And that one's deep enough I'll have to glass, but most of it has been faired out and sanded. I'm not worried about these little gouges like this. But this side you can see some waves in it because the sun's hitting it just right. Some dips, but I'm not going to be too worried about that. I'm going to pull it again either next year or the year after and get back after everything else. But I got to get this back in the water because the owner of the marina actually wants me to do some work for him, and I told him not until I get this back in the water. So I got a little bit of sanding out to do. As you can see, just knocked them down. I had a little bit of fairing compound left, so I'll hit some of these other low spots again and then do one final sanding on it. Been doing block sanding just because I can get it to bite a lot better than using the random orbital. A little more control over what I'm doing. And then all these round spots like this I can't hit with the random orbital, so I got some that are still low. So I just filled them about an hour ago, so they should be dry now. But I'm actually done for today. And there's the rudder, one side. I'm not too worried about stuff like this here. It's fine for this year. I don't plan on taking the boat out. It's gonna probably sit at the dock for the whole freaking year. So I got a hybrid ablative hard anti-foul to go on this. So I'll dive it every 6 months and scrape it off and take a brush to it, and still got to put my prop on. I got to get some split pins for that, throw that back on, wash her up one more time before I paint it. And this spot here was the big hole. I still have to sand that smooth. That's why it looks kind of rough. I haven't even done that. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I probably won't get to any of it tomorrow unless it rains like later on in the afternoon. Not doing an update of inside the boat, not yet, because it's literally a mess in there. Tools everywhere, sanders, you name it, it's all over in there. So I'll do an update once it's in the water and I get everything else cleaned up. So that's basically it for the update for this thing. Not much more to go, and then I'll move the stands and do where the stands are before I put the hard ablative on it. That way everything's got 2 to 3 coats of barrier coat on it. They recommend 4, but I'll do 3. See if I can get 3 out of the first gallon. First coat, I'm actually going to thin back a little bit. That way it lays down and it gives a good bond for the rest of it. And then the rest is, it's a heavy, so it should lay down pretty good and cover all these other small low spots, I'm hoping. But I guess it looks better than most of them I've seen. For the age of the boat, it's gonna be pretty nice. I mean, you can see by the bottom of it, I don't know if you can see it in the video, it's still a little bit wavy, but I guess they've proven that it doesn't matter if it's a little wavy or actually smooth. There's still not that much resistance when you're racing. So if anybody wants to buy it to race it, it'll be all set. And the repair I did on the side there is rock solid. So I'll still do the two-sided repair on that. And then the through hull that I did, I glassed that and faired that today. So there she is. You do a little bit of sand work on that, and then next to it's a blister that was there. Both of them got glassed today and faired out, and then I noticed that one needed to be ground out, so I ground that one out. And I guess I gotta grind it a little bit bigger tomorrow, and I'll glass that one in if it doesn't rain. I think I have just enough fairing compound to do that one. And I'm not buying another gallon. It's almost $400 a gallon, so I'm not buying another one. I've got enough into the bottom job already. Like I said, I want to get it back in the water and help these guys out because they're running short on help. So that's basically the update for the FAR 37. Like I said, she's dirty again. So I'll do one final wash down before I paint, and I'll still wipe it down with acetone and a couple clean rags, like 7 clean rags, before I start doing the barrier coat. But it's come a long way from where I started. Like I said, even the owner said I did a nice job on it. Probably $10,000 to $15,000 worth of work because the osmosis was that bad on this thing. But I've got roughly 6 months of work into it, 5.5 months last year, and actually 6.5 months, and another month this year, started April 1st. So it's actually been out of the water for almost a year, so everything's pretty dry. When it rains, I don't get wet inside. It's dried in pretty well. I do have to get new windows, but I got my Dodger back on there, and I have a tarp put up there. That way it doesn't get wet inside because my hatches do leak. So I actually have to rebed those. But I won't do any of that till it actually goes in the water. And I guess he's only talking about 3 days a week, which is fine because it gives me more time to work on this. And then once I have some time, I will be addressing the blue up top because there's spots where the paint is actually chipping off and peeling. So I'll do little spots, and it's a midnight blue. I actually do have the paint code for it to match up the paint. That way it doesn't look like it's all spotty from fixing the paint. And then I'll give her a good buff with some compound. see if I can get it back to shiny, and then I may wax it. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually worth waxing this thing or not, but it shines anyway. So, and I actually want to change these scuppers out here eventually, because they're just glass tubes, and they're very loud inside the boat whenever the waves come up inside them, both sides. So eventually I will be changing those out. One is for bilge pump on the other side, and then one on either side is the deck scuppers, and then this side, one of the holes is for the manual bilge pump. So I don't even know what else to say next. I mean, shit. Speaking of shit, still gotta get that off of there. And I have no idea what that white mark is right there. I'm hoping that will actually buff out with some compound. And then that big old spot right there, I'm pretty sure that is epoxy. So I'm gonna have to be gentle and wet sand that out. But you can see above it where there's a big spot of paint that chipped off. I'm gonna have to address that anyway. So if I have to do a big spot of repair on the blue, I will. But that's how dirty she gets just by sanding a little bit. So give her a wash down, and hopefully that'll be good, and I'll get it painted hopefully this week sometime, and then back in the water. Happy. All right, peace out, guys.